Hello everyone and welcome to the 33rd episode of the Save File podcast. I'm Jack. First, let's get the intro out of the way. Joining me today is Josh.
Yo.
Anf.
Yo.
And Charbs.
Hey.
How we doing, guys?
I'm good. And I want to take this moment to say, I'm currently in a campaign, right? I'm campaigning Anf to play No More Heroes 1 and 2. Can I, anyone who listens to this podcast, please, send Anf a message on Twitter @MasterAnf to play No More Heroes.
This is a good start.
That is.
So,
this is a very good
what
start.
are we going to be talking about today?
Well,
Sorry.
Oh, I thought you were asking.
No, I'm not asking. I'm going to tell you. This is how this works now.
We thought that was a rhetorical question.
Rhetorical.
Alright, what are we talking about, Jack?
Today we're talking about Mario Kart still selling so well. It's Nintendo's second best-selling game this quarter. A fan-made PS2 makes us wonder what we'd actually play on it. And a tweet that got Ants so riled up. So we're going to talk about it.
I thought you were asking.
Yeah,
all right.
really
Shall we start in Nintendo and Mario Kart?
Sure.
In the world of money that is Nintendo.
I'm not gonna lie. I have recently been wanting to play more like racing games, like in particular arcade races and kart races, things like that. I bought CTR and I've barely played it, but one thing I wanted was obviously Mario Kart 8 is it's the deluxe version of the Wii U game, right? Yeah. And part of me was like, man, it's been a while since we've had a brand new Mario Kart. Maybe Nintendo's working on it. But considering it's the second best-selling game this past quarter for Nintendo, yeah, I don't think we're seeing one anytime soon until this one stops selling.
I don't think there's much of a point of them making another one.
Yeah.
Which is funny, because I think people have called for a new one, because it's been so long, but it's sort of like, it's with Rockstar with the new GTA, why would they work on number 6?
I mean,
I'm still doing so well.
Wait, didn't they just make one? That freaking one with the camera?
That's like a periphery one. Yeah, there's a Mario Kart.
Mario Kart, home tour, whatever it is.
Live track or whatever?
Yeah.
But I think honestly that they should just bring out DLC with new tracks. Because the game is solid.
Look, I will say,
do you think people will buy DLC for it?
Yes.
Like by
yes,
now?
I do, Jack.
Oh, yeah.
Jack,
Okay.
excuse me, Jack. Isn't it currently the number one selling game?
Number
I think
2.
it was second last quarter.
Number 2? Does that not mean that people would probably buy the DLC?
Wait, what was number 1?
I'll tell you what it wasn't. Neo, The World Ends With You.
Shut the fuck up, Charles. Shut the
Well,
fuck up.
It also wasn't Pokemon Snap or Animal Crossing.
I just wanted to say that to Ryle Anf. I just wanted to say that to Ryle Anf. But look, back on Mario Kart. It's worth noting, the Switch itself is still selling incredibly strong. And if I was buying a Switch, like if I didn't have a Switch, by now, if I was buying the Switch, Mario Kart would be one of the, first few games I buy. Simply because it's just a great game. It's great to play with friends. You can play it solo and go through all the cups. And considering how much content is actually in it, in terms of characters and karts and all that, there's actually quite a bit there. Honestly, it doesn't surprise me at all that it's still selling as long as the Switch is selling.
Look, the Switch is by far a really, really solid investment if you just want a gaming machine.
It is.
Yeah.
Look.
By the way, sorry, I'll clarify, one thing. Pokemon Snap was the highest. But then it was followed by Mario Kart 8.
Right.
And it beat things like Animal Crossing New Horizons, Mario Golf Super Rush, and Miitopia.
I feel like Animal Crossing only did well last year.
It did. It was amazing when it came out. It came out perfectly, just as COVID hit.
Just as everyone went into lockdown.
Now nobody really cares about it now, which is weird. I put it down.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say nobody cares about it, but I will say that I've seen a lot of people on Twitter say the same thing, and they're all saying Yeah. I used to hop on Animal Crossing every day. Now I just hop on like once a month or once when the new update comes out, just to see what it is.
Animal Crossing's life cycle is about 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
In terms of like solid playtime, and that's just because of inherently it's a game on a console that demands you play it every day, and there's only so much content to go through.
Yeah.
You can only rebuild your village.
I'll admit it helped me during like the time of like when pandemic was at its like,
Oh yeah,
like genesis, I guess.
Dude,
Best way I can describe
Animal
it.
Crossing is a solid 100 hours, like easily.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I think it's just weird to hear that Mario Kart 8 is still one of the top-selling games, especially with how old it is.
I think it's because Mario Kart is so universal that everyone can play it. You can give it to your 40-year-old dad and he's got some idea of what to do.
Yeah,
right?
that's
like,
true.
Or you can give it to an 8-year-old and they know car racing games.
Yeah.
They know to drive and
Just hold A.
And then also the fact that Mario Kart has a pretty decent in terms of racing catch-up mechanics.
Yeah,
That
it certainly has.
probably go under, like a lot of players wouldn't know about it, but
Mario
there's a lot going on.
Mario Kart is designed to be easy to pick up and play the first time.
Yes.
And you can play with everyone.
Like, it's so easy that it's one of the few games that comes to my mind where, like, if you rock up to a party and you don't play games, someone can just say, right, this is how you go, this is how you brake, this is how you drift, and this is how you throw items, and I think you're set.
I think you have
Like,
a
you don't
solid
need-
chance of winning. If you have that.
You don't need a dedicated tutorial mode.
No. I think, honestly, Mario Kart is a game where like someone completely new can come to it and win. Easily. Even against people who are good at the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting that old bullet to the front.
Yeah, you get a ball to the front. The rubber banding mechanics, like Mario Kart is like a whole dissection in terms of like rubber banding mechanics and catch up and casual play. But I don't think we have time to get into it today.
No,
I thought
don't think
Smash
we do.
would have been like at the top or something, but
No, because if you've ever played with
I think
Charbel,
Smash
you
is
know
a small
exactly
niche
where that
community.
fucking learning curve hits.
yeah, true.
Like, look, if I gave the controller to like my little sister, and then I said, Charbel, can you play Ganondorf? She's not winning like that match.
True. Excuse me.
If you
sorry.
give a Kirby, has she got a chance?
Yeah,
Or
But
Bowser.
yeah. If I do give my little sister the controller and teach her how to play Mario Kart, she has a solid chance of beating us. Just because
Yeah,
of
I
how
think
the game
I think that's why
works.
it's just such a universal game. Literally anyone can play it.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, but would you let them? Would you let her beat you?
You guys, yeah. Me, no.
Sharps wouldn't let them. No.
No.
Sharps is not going to be the dad who lets his kids win. They're going to have to earn that victory.
If I ever become a dad, my kid is going to have to earn every victory he
I
plays.
love
100%.
that. I love the idea of
I'm going to be like
"Sorry,
Heihachi.
son."
I'm going to be Heihachi. He's got to prove he's worthy before my last name is on the birth certificate.
Yes. Sorry, son. You don't know how to L cancel.
If I catch you googling how to cancel wave dashes, we're going to have a problem.
I like the idea. I don't know why it just reminded me of Hugh Neutron all of a sudden.
You can't even block. Jeez.
It looks like you're about to
Alright.
go from 0 to dead, Jimbo.
If you can hit me just once, you get dinner.
If you hit
So-
me, you better kill me.
So, moving on from Mario Kart and...
Hang on, I don't want to move on too quickly first. We're going to stay with Nintendo and
Okay.
Nintendo getting money. The Switch has now sold 89 million units.
Yes, congratulations, Nintendo.
Oh, damn.
Shit.
Yeah, not bad. They were approaching the 100 million, and all expectations are they will beat both the Wii and PS4 to 100 million units sold.
That's incredible.
They continue on their current pace.
That's actually incredible.
That's
I will say
fantastic.
this. Fuck Sony.
What?
You know what they did. If I can't get a PS5 unless I pay like a shady man out of a van $1,500, it's not worth it.
You can pay me. I don't have a van.
No, that's not the problem. The van was not the issue in that sentence.
No, look, to be honest, the issue isn't with Sony, I think, personally with the PS5 shortages. It's more the retailers. Some of
that's
them
what I've
have-
been saying too.
Like, I don't know if you guys saw this, but when Big W, who's a retailer here in Australia, obviously, had a bunch of PS5s that were about to drop, the night before, scalpers got into the back end and purchased them before they went on sale.
That's so fucked. That's
Like,
so fucked.
That's how hard it was. But like I've helped a couple people get PS5s. If you honestly need help, Josh, I'll help you, and I'll only charge a small fee.
I know. I understand.
I'm
You're
joking, I'm
very reasonably priced.
Hey, we're in lockdown. I've got to make money somehow.
You'll just upcharge me to the scalper's price.
Well, he did get a couple. He did get some on the PS5 as of recently, and successfully.
Yeah, you got one of our mates one. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's
he
impressive.
does deliver.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, man, that's impressive. Me and
Just
Alexia
don't-
were
just-
looking for PS5s for my birthday, and we could not fucking find one.
Just don't ask how I got a hold of that
So
PS5.
listen, you can't know. And if you see Frank, he's dead.
Charles, what small child did you rob?
Oh, I don't rob children. Teenagers, though, they're much easier.
Teenage.
Teenagers.
Because
Teens,
normally...
though.
Yeah, because they catch the train by themselves home. Easy, man.
Yeah, they
Children
also-
are always with their parents.
They catch the
They
train.
always
Did they
put
also
it in their
catch that
backpack,
fist?
making it so much easier to carry.
Sharps. They caught the train. Did they also catch that fist?
Catch these hands.
Catch that KO punch from Little Mac.
Oh god.
No, look. All jokes aside, in terms of the PS5 shortages, they suck. But you know what's even more annoying? Is the fact that every single time I see an article or a tweet or anything referencing PlayStation, someone will make a joke about how the PS5s are hard to get. Like, I saw an article, I can't remember who it was, I think it might have been Press Start, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, where they wrote an article with the best HDMI 2.1 compatible monitors and TVs for the PS5 and Series X. And like, 9 out of 10 comments are just people going, "Oh, that's great, I can get the TV, but I can't get the PlayStation." I'm just like, oh, how do you not annoy yourself repeating that on every post? And I swear, there are times where I've seen the same people comment that on every single post. And I'm like, for fuck's sake.
You know what's funny though?
What?
The PS5 outsold the PS4 in its first fiscal year.
Yeah, it did.
So demand's clearly just higher for the PS5 than PS4, which I think is weird.
I don't think. Well, it's not been a fiscal year yet. Because...
No, it's the fiscal year to July essentially.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fine. Tax year.
Tax year.
But man, honestly, I do hope that scalping doesn't become a bigger thing going forwards. Like, people have already started scalping the Steam Deck. There are people who pre-ordered the Steam Deck and they've started scalping that.
Yeah, so
Graphics cards as well.
Graphics cards are another one. And the worst thing was now, companies themselves that, like, the actual retailer are scalping graphics cards. I bought my 3070 for $1,000 on a certain retailer that I use. I'm not going to say who, because I still use them. I looked, my 3070 that was $1,000 is now $1,450.
Jesus.
Yeah, people also scalping like Pokemon cards and shit. So like,
yeah, but people
everything.
have been scalping that shit for ages.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's just getting
They
worse.
scalped that before it was cool.
But it's
Listen,
it's getting worse. It's actually getting worse.
Excuse me, people were buying every fucking Yu-Gi-Oh card in bulk way before this shit started, okay?
You know what? I want to thank you, Josh, because while we're on the topic of card games, this moves me on to my next topic, which Jack, I think, forgot to mention at the start, which is...
No. There are topics that I don't mention in the thing that we can bring up anyway. They just don't need to all be in my intro. Otherwise, you'll be there for 5 minutes while I read out everything.
Read quicker then.
Thank you,
my
sir.
point is...
Don't
my
have
point
a go
is...
at me.
But what if I want to watch 5 minutes of this?
My point is, in South Australia, 5 people have been arrested, right? And these people were thieves, and they were selling stolen goods.
They were thieves and scoundrels. And
They
they were
were
selling the Digimon card raw.
Close. They were selling.
Close.
They were selling rare Pokemon cards back to the person they stole them from.
No, I clicked on the article. They were Digimon cards.
What is it in the photo?
Yeah.
Oh, but like,
Get your facts straight, boy.
is
Now
it
listen.
worth? Is it worth
I think
going
the
to jail
article
over?
screwed up.
Listen, they're selling the Pokemon card, right? So I open up a pack of cards, $5 pack of cards, and I earn $1,500 from that pack of cards.
But like,
I steal Richie's binder full of these $500 cards and sell them back to Richie.
well, they were selling them at a higher price as well.
So fuck it. Oh my god, really?
Yeah. Like, out of curiosity,
People
right?
are
'cause
amazing.
Out of curiosity, I never got into like the Pokemon card games or anything like that. But what are the odds that if I was to open up a pack of Pokemon cards, I'm gonna get something worth more than the pack itself?
Fairly decent. Like, honestly, you got about a 1 in, like... I'd say like a 1 in 10.
Really? That high?
Yeah, more than the pack is worth. Yeah.
Alright, we're about to be a YouTube channel for pack openings. I
So
believe.
we can get rich quick,
That's where it's really at.
we can get rich quicker than the lottery. Sweet.
Yeah, I would say it really depends on like the set that you're opening, because obviously like some sets have more cards that are more decent, but like anything that's worth like real money, that's where it's like you're never gonna earn like, well, I wouldn't say never, but it's like very unlikely that you're gonna earn like hundreds. But like finding like a $10 card out of a $5 booster pack, like that can be done. That's relatively normal.
I just want to share with you the tweet that South Australia Police shared with the picture of the cards, and they are Digimon cards, is gotta catch 'em all.
Oh my god.
5 people arrested over trading cards there.
How do you do, fellow kids?
How do you do, fellow kids? This is Digimon, sir.
I'm just
card game is,
I'm
by the way,
just-
the
That's
Digimon card game is
amazing.
brand new.
I'm just picturing one Digi fan that's just like, we don't do that here.
That would be me.
Oh,
I'm
God.
gonna hit up eBay for just a second, because have you guys heard of a Metazu?
No, I've never heard of Metazu.
So, Metazu is a card game that was recently developed via Kickstarter, and guess what happened?
What?
Wait, I think I did hear about this from one of the videos on Larry Bundy Jr.'s channel.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. It got like, it actually did get like backed, and I can't remember what happened. Something happened.
So
Can you refresh my memory?
what happened? So the booster pack, as in like the first edition box set from the Kickstarter, was about $70, $80. I want you to guess how much it is for me to try and buy that booster pack at the moment.
Or like,
I'm gonna throw out some numbers.
I'm gonna take a guess here. $180.
I'm gonna say
okay.
500.
Okay, Jack, what's your guess?
$750.
$885.
Oh man.
Jack was closest. He wins. Ding ding ding
He
ding
wins.
ding.
He wins the great prize of being the most disappointed.
Price is right.
The Metazu, even the creators were like, "What the fuck?" Because what they saw is people saw that Metazu was like it was actually really good. Like legitimately, like everyone who played it was like, "Oh my god, this is fantastic."
Yeah.
So scalpers went, "Oh, a card game that's fantastic," you say.
Hello.
And they bought up the packs, and then they tried to sell them on eBay for like nearly $1,000, as you just heard.
And that's
Now-
what ruined like the entry level.
Yeah, but to the developers' credit, they've already said that they're making more and more copies of those packs since they've sold all of them. And they're like, hey, we'll make more and more copies because we want people to actually be able to play our fucking game.
Yeah.
I'm very proud that the developers didn't lean into this newfound relevance and instead were just like, yeah, we're just gonna keep going until the scalpers can't earn anything.
They'll realize they're carrying common cards instead.
Yeah, basically. I think like they said that to keep the rarity different, the future packs will be printed with like a different kind of rarity to them. So if you have the original pack and you're a backer, like the value of your set doesn't go down.
Yeah.
Which is good. Because like that's one of the big things. Like, did you guys know Magic the Gathering, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I
If
know
you show me
Magic
on
the
that.
Gathering.
You know, they have like a list of cards that they're not allowed to reprint.
Oh wow.
Really?
Yeah, the company made a list of cards that they will not reprint,
Just to keep them that
just
rare,
to keep
I suppose.
the value of them.
That's sort of pretty cool.
Yeah, It's kind of dumb because they realize later it's like, oh, if you reprint certain cards at certain points, you can do it properly and have the cards be in play instead of like in a shelf.
I was going to say also probably you actually made more money because people go out and buy packs anyway.
Yes, you're completely correct.
To try and get them.
That's actually one of the reasons why
I like the idea of keeping them rare, but yeah, practically
it's really bad for them. Because it's like, oh, well, we can't actually earn any money on these cards because they're all been sold to people and they're just trading them amongst themselves.
I mean, imagine if Yu-Gi-Oh! Never reprinted Egyptian God cards or...
Could you imagine if Blue Eyes was never reprinted?
I was going to say, yeah, you have 3 Blue Eyes and that's it.
Like, it's like, do you play Blue Eyes? Nah, fuck that.
Only the first editions of Charizards.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, imagine if there was no other Charizard card. It's good in theory, like, for the people who have those cards already, but it's really bad for anyone who wants to play those cards, or the company that wants to earn money off those cards. But I think we've talked about our card games for quite a while now.
Yes, but I'm going to continue on the nostalgia train.
Alright.
How much would you like a portable PS2?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah.
I wouldn't turn it down.
I would say immediately yes to that.
So a few tweets got shared of a fan that made a fan-made portable PS2, and I would like to know what you guys would want to play on it.
So I never had a PS2.
What you think of it?
So
you never had the PS2?
Never. So
man, Wollongong's a weird place.
I have deferred to my lovely fiance's wisdom, and she said Jack and Daxter would be something that you would want to play on that.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
For a bit more context, the person who created this, who has a YouTube channel called Ginger of Oz, he's actually made a whole bunch of like essentially home consoles and handhelds. He's done like a few Wiis and things like that. But for the PS2, I watched the whole video, and I gotta say, it's pretty impressive. Like, the only thing I don't like about the portable PS2 he made specifically was, and this was not like his fault, it's just he had to use the thumbsticks from the Joy-Con rather than normal thumbsticks, because the Joy-Con thumbsticks were much smaller and easier to get into the actual housing for the system.
I hadn't thought of that.
But other than that, I would love a portable PS2.
So he demonstrated it running Sly Raccoon, Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas, and Final Fantasy X.
You know, if you buy a Vita and hack it, you can play PS2 games on it.
Yeah. I actually...
That is true.
I said to Anf, right, if Sony actually made this and made a digital storefront and they put PS2 games up for like $5-10, it'd be a license to print money.
I know, it really would be.
Sharps, let's be real. You're buying Ratchet and Clank and playing through the trilogy.
I would buy Ratchet and Clank. I would also buy Shadow of Rome. I'd buy the Tony Hawk games up until Project 8.
I just play Underground.
Oh man.
Such
That's
a good game.
actually Driven to Destruction or Test Drive Eve of Destruction if you're not in a PAL region.
Burnout 3 Takedown because the cowards haven't remastered it.
Yes, absolutely. My actually, when they released Burnout Paradise Remastered, what was it, a few years ago, they were like people were saying, "Oh, this is EA trying to see if there's a future for the series," and I'm like, "Mate, remaster Burnout 3, and I guarantee you would have doubled your money."
It was strange that they did that, and there's been no rumors since because everyone was like, "Okay, where's 3 though?"
Yeah, yeah.
Me and Josh can agree with this. We want Tales of the Abyss.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Not Tales of Hysteria, yeah.
Oh, not this shit again.
So for context, Anf loves the Tales series. I tricked him into looking up a Tales game called Tales of Hysteria, and I tried to get him to believe that it was part of the series.
Yeah, you little gaslighter.
Man.
Believed you for 1 second, then I'm like, hang on.
You make a mistake all the time, though. Yeah, it's 1 second is all it takes. He's got your hook, line, and sinker.
But honestly, even like, I would absolutely adore a portable PS2.
let's just be real, it'd have better... Whatever internet connection they put into it, it would be better than the Switch.
Yeah. Also, let's face it.
Yes, I'm firing those shots.
If
it annoys me.
If Nintendo listens to this, that was strictly Jack's opinion. It does not reflect any of ours.
We would still
Nintendo
love
aren't sponsoring us, let's be real.
We will play Mario Kart 8 for you, whatever you need.
Also, let's face it, like, if the Ratchet and Clank trilogy never gets, like, a remaster or anything, this will probably be, the closest thing. For a
Yeah,
Sure
like,
that wouldn't get a remaster? I'm pretty sure it might.
It did get a remaster on the PS3.
on the PS3, yeah.
Yeah.
20-year
it
anniversary
again.
next year. Just saying.
But don't forget the PS3 was, like, 2 generations ago now.
20-year anniversary next year, just saying.
Yes, it would be. And
That's perfect time for it, just saying.
Like
the fact that they just released Rift Apart and they want everyone to buy that and like, oh hey guys, here are the previous games.
Can you imagine?
Here's to catch you up on all of the content that we just sort of also chucked in the game, like hinting at stuff.
I was gonna say, can you imagine if they do like a Kingdom Hearts the story so far type of thing?
Oh my god, that's just a movie.
That is literally printing money though.
Yeah. Imagine if you went into like the first game and you know how they made that remake, like the remake, right? And they had like strafing. Imagine the first game with implemented strafing.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's almost the meme that's the thing everyone says. Everyone's always like, "Oh my god, the one thing the first game was missing was strafing." And it's funny because it did have strafing. It was just terrible because you had to use the thruster pack.
Yeah,
it was
you
were floating. So it was really weird. It wasn't like the strafing they implemented in number 2 onwards.
I didn't use it much.
Was significantly better.
Could you use weapons while using the thruster pack strafing, or was that like a limited thing?
No, you could use weapons. That was the point.
Okay. It
was just. I think they sort of looked at that and they thought, well, considering the thruster pack isn't like needed as much, you can still use it for like aesthetic purposes in 2 onwards, but like in number 1, it had that ground pound that they actually used on a few worlds.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't the thruster pack also just significantly better because you actually could go further?
In the first game,
from memory, in the first game only.
Yeah,
I think they leveled it out. Yeah.
And it's funny because as time went on, Clank became more like, I guess, known. Like it was more common to see Clank in like media with the helipack.
Yeah, because the helipack was just iconic. Yeah.
Yeah. Nowadays, Ratchet technically doesn't need Clank for those purposes because he's got like
because he's usually got boots that do it. Yeah.
Yeah, but he uses him anyway if he has Clank, so that's a nice touch.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining it's just like Clank going, "I'm helping," and like Ratchet's using his hover boots to glide.
But I liked what A Crack in Time did. Like when you got Clank, because by then you would have had the hover boots and everything.
Yeah.
Ratchet and Clank like teamwork with their like ability. So Ratchet uses the hover boots and Clank uses the helipack simultaneously, and that was a nice little touch. I kind of don't know why they didn't do that in Rift Apart.
I suppose because they would have had to animate Kit doing it.
True. Yeah.
One thing I want to mention or 2 games technically that we haven't mentioned that should be on a PS2: Simpsons Hit and Run and Simpsons Road Rage.
Okay, this is gonna piss you off, Jack. I don't think Road Rage was that good.
I think it was a great fun game. It had its issues, but I would 100% play it again.
It was
I didn't like Road Rage.
It was a Simpsons mod for Crazy Taxi with terrible load times.
God, that's woof.
The load times were not. Yeah, but
that's how it felt.
If they're doing a PS2 portable version, I'm sure with today's technology, you could probably make it a little bit faster.
We have the technology.
Probably just a little bit faster.
You know what's funny, right? Road Rage was actually originally meant to be open world, I think. Because I remember watching a video on something.
Pretty sure you're right, yeah.
Didn't they like update it for like Hit and Run and that?
Well, yeah, it was Hit and Run basically, I suppose, sort of became that.
Yeah, Hit and Run was essentially like 3 different worlds that you could run around in, depending on what like level you were at.
Yeah. Man, Hit and Run was really good.
Hit and Run was a absolute classic game. I played multiple times.
And yet you want Road Rage.
I would prefer Hit and... If you're asking me to choose, I want Hit and Run.
I would honestly play Simpsons Game before I play Simpsons Road Rage.
I never played Simpsons games, so
It's pretty good.
I actually liked it. In some ways, I liked it more than Hit and Run. In
The
some
Simpsons
ways,
game is the movie one, right? Like the movie tie-in one.
No. So the Simpsons game, the
I'm
whole
pretty sure I
premise,
played it.
the premise of it is that a game manual falls down from the sky.
Yes,
Like from
I played
God?
that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
played that.
And so the Simpsons realize they're in a video game.
My fucking favorite level from that is the fucking Vietnam one. Oh, wasn't Vietnam. World War Two.
Yeah. Medal of Homer.
Medal of Homer, or the fucking RPG spoof level was really great.
Yeah, I liked that one in the Grand Theft Scratchy one.
Yeah,
Oh,
Grand
yeah.
Theft Scratchy was really
Grand
good.
Theft Scratchy was dope. I loved it.
It also ended with DDR with God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which
You had
is
to
really
be-
hard. Actually,
yeah,
it was hard.
You had to blow up his prey station. They called it. He had all three consoles. He had a PlayStation, an Xbox, and a Wii. But obviously, all the names were like changed to like
I love
something
PlayStation.
religious.
That's
I think it was like the PlayStation, the Exodus box, and like
Exodus box.
I can't remember what the Wii one was. But yeah, it ended with literally DDR with God.
Dude, like the Simpsons game was really good. I was trying to remember because I think the movie and that game came out at relatively similar times.
I think the movie was 07, the Simpsons game was 09.
Okay, yeah.
Was yeah, that would make
Yeah,
sense.
so they weren't too far apart.
Man, they were both great. The movie and the game, holy shit, quality.
I can't believe the Simpsons movie came out in 2007. My god.
Yeah,
That's
a
wow.
long time.
This also makes the Simpsons game one of the few games to have a model of God.
The Simpsons game did come out in 07 as well.
Oh, it came out the same
Oh,
year.
it did.
Oh shit.
I was wrong.
Yeah, that's
A
why I
couple
was
of-
like,
a couple of
I
months
always
after.
associated it with the movie.
Yeah, it came out a few months after the movie.
They just have different plots, similar to like every episode of The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Now, moving on from that, we, like all four of us here, have Twitters, right?
Yeah.
And Twitter's an interesting place.
It's a fun
And some-
place.
Some
It's also
people,
horrible.
some people share some very interesting thoughts. And
Oh god.
we know
So
we know where we're going with this. So, Back for Blood, I guess you can call it a spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead.
Everyone's calling it spiritual success. It
Yeah,
basically is.
So, someone tweeted out some gameplay of it, and they were like, "This is why it's going to be on Game Pass on day one because it doesn't have like crazy attention to detail." And he's like shooting a sandbag and like a teeny bit of sand flies out. Where he was obviously comparing it to games like, Uncharted or like most Rockstar games where they have like stupidly insane levels of detail. Where like everything's got its own little physics. And this, actually, I want to reference another tweet where someone compared the watermelons in Halo Infinite to, I think it was The Last of Us Part 2. And, like, in the Halo one, he shoots, like, the watermelon twice, and it just explodes. Like, the whole group of watermelons explodes. And it's like, yeah, there's no attention to detail here. And I'm gonna speak for all of us. That's how confident I am in this statement. Aesthetics alone don't make good games.
What are you talking about? But that goes against all of our game design training.
Like, just because something looks really nice, it doesn't make it.
I'm just thinking that Crims Hemsworth has thought. It's like, really though?
Like, I'll admit,
Excuse me,
aesthetics
I
are like.
played during the 360 days, and I'll tell you, graphics was the only word that we cared about.
It's also still the catcher today.
I mean, it's still the only word that a lot of people care about.
Yeah.
But you can have a great looking game and it can still not be a good game.
Correct.
Look at
you can
a
also
game-
have a horrible looking game and it can be great.
Look at a game like The Order 1887.
Oh, that's a beautiful game.
It is. It's fantastic. It's gorgeous. But it's got so many issues and so many things that prevent it from being as good as, well, at least I hoped it to be.
Yeah,
It
and
was a bit
gamers these
sad.
days have, I don't know, they sort of become a little bit more sophisticated in saying that, they can say when a game has all substance. No, all style and no substance.
I feel like
Anthem
it's
is a beautiful
just,
game, and therefore it's a 10 out of 10.
I think it's because we can all have an opinion on it, right? Because you have things like Twitter, your Reddit,
Well,
all these
like-
different places to comment on it.
That's the thing. If you're a fan of video games, you have more ways than ever to like tell developers how much their game sucks.
I was going to say, as well as unfortunately also blast into developers who are on
like
social media.
it's so unfortunate. And look, don't get me wrong, I have nothing against like any random person that might be an artist or a programmer or anything like that, you know. But when gamers are like, oh yeah, you know, this game looks really good and it plays terribly, gamers will tell you it plays terribly, and they'll
Yes.
tell you on YouTube when you upload a trailer. They'll tell you on Twitter, and they'll use hashtags and get it trending. They'll tell you on Reddit. They'll tell you on every possible place they can.
If you have a
And-
Discord, they will tell you. If you have
They
a
will-
mailbox,
oh, yeah.
they'll send it.
No, absolutely. On Discord as well. It's funny because till now, the most downvoted comment on Reddit is still EA's Star Wars one. Do you guys remember that?
The Battlefront
yeah.
one?
Yeah, the Battlefront one, where they when they were asked like why it takes so long to unlock certain characters and if it's pay to win, and they said we strive to give our players a sense of pride and accomplishment when they do something. That's still the
Oh my
most
God.
downvoted comment on Reddit.
Listen,
The most-
we don't do loot boxes here. We do surprise mechanics.
The most
Surprise
downvoted,
mechanics.
the most downvoted video on YouTube, I believe, is the Call of Duty Infinite Warfare trailer. Because that was at the peak of players going, we want classic COD, boots on the ground. And they went, here, go to space. And
Boots on the ground. Boots on the ground. On the moon.
It was,
I
I
thought the
felt,
most downvoted video was still like the YouTube Rewind one.
It is.
oh, it
That's
is?
so
Oh, I must have
sad.
knocked COD off.
God,
But-
that's so sad.
I honestly, like, I feel terrible whenever I see that stuff. And, like, by far and away the worst thing, and this is something we have addressed on the
The
podcast.
Call of Duty Infinite Warfare trailer is at 24 on the list.
Okay. I'm very behind then. Thought it was still, like, up there. But, I think, like, the worst thing that happened when we all got, like, access to internet connections and, like, social media is when we see devs of games getting threats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah, it's just
bad.
not on.
At that, I don't give a shit how bad a game is, but like, you never, ever should threaten a dev over a game. And it's funny because most of the devs, like, they're just doing what they're told. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like-
definitely.
When you're talking about games that are at like a AAA level, like one random artist isn't gonna be able to stop the
They're
game
not gonna have
from
the
playing a
swing
certain
to-
way or anything like that. Yeah, they're not gonna have the swing to change a higher up's decision or anything like that.
Yeah, like so it wasn't the fault of all the Cyberpunk devs that game released when it should not have and probably should have been in the works for another 12 months.
Yeah, like
Listen, that's
some
mostly the publishers. The devs probably would agree with you.
yeah,
Like, most of the
Correct.
time when I see like people going, "Oh man, why didn't you do this?" They're like, "Yeah."
like some of the vitriol that gamers have, most of it's just unnecessary.
I mean,
Oh,
but
yeah.
the other side of it is as well, like a lot of gamers, and I'm not saying this to talk down to anyone, but like a lot of gamers don't understand the ins and outs of what goes on in a studio.
No.
No,
Like, you know what I mean? Like if I needed work done on my car and I'm not a trained mechanic, I like cars, but I'm not a trained mechanic. I don't walk up to the mechanic and be like, "You should have done this. You should have done this. You should have done this." I don't tell a chef how he should season a meal when I go to a restaurant.
You
I
do
don't-
tell him how he should cook it, though.
Oh yeah, I tell him I want my steak medium rare, but that's
Yeah.
that's where it ends. But
but
like,
if you don't like the
ordering the
recipe,
food.
don't order it.
but it's ridiculous. I can't. That's the one like thing that I hate about social media is that so many people who I guess shouldn't be in a position where they can talk to devs have the ability to do that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
people misuse it.
Yeah.
100%.
That's my point. That's what.
But it's
people
also-
honestly
it's-
misuse it.
The human dichotomy is you're much more likely to give an opinion about something when you dislike it rather than like it.
That
yeah,
is true.
That's the problem of people. People are attracted more to negative things than positive things. It's why, like,
You don't go to a restaurant and go, "Oh, that was a really good meal. I'm instantly going to give it a review." If it's a bad meal, then you don't want other people going to it and wasting their money.
yeah, you have
No,
there's like
absolutely.
more of an inclination to tell other people.
Yeah.
Like the bar of how good something has to be before you give it a review is like way higher than how bad it has
Yeah,
to be.
100%.
Yeah.
And I'll say this: a lot of the jobs in making games, so many of them are thankless jobs.
Oh, they are.
So
Look,
so many
I've
of
talked
them.
to devs.
So many.
QA, man.
So many of them. So many of them are jobs where you don't realize they're being done well until you play a game where they're done badly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of it.
Like
Look,
it's,
I've talked to devs who have been part of projects that haven't gone well, and
Yeah.
let me tell you, they're just as fucking disappointed, if not more, than you are.
Most likely more.
Yeah, because they've dedicated like a lot of their lives and passion into a project which just didn't fucking work.
I don't know. Well,
And
what's
more
what's a
importantly-
short game development time? 3 years? Can you imagine when 3 years of your work?
Yeah,
everyone
imagine working
shits on
3
it?
years on something, thinking, "Oh, I'm truly trying," and then
And everyone
getting
shits on
told
it.
by like Dane from New York that it sucks.
yeah. Also,
And-
don't forget, these devs have their name attached to the project.
Yeah.
If I play a game that I think is not a good game, no one comes up to me and says, "Oh, hey, you were responsible for insert shit game here."
What
But
the worst?
these devs, they work on a game, and then when they say, "Oh, I worked on this, this, and this," half the time they'll get people, and like this happens, they get people that say, "Oh yeah, I played your game. You could have done this better, this better, this better." The devs understand. They
The
know
devs are more than aware of.
they're
what's
more
wrong
than
with it.
aware of whether
Yeah.
the game is good or not.
The worst part of all this is like the moment they show off the game is the moment that stuff will start, because you know how like they show off stuff at like E3 or whatever
yeah,
sort of
they
like
know.
event. They
Every dev is aware.
like they will see how much like either praise or hate that it will get the moment they show it.
I
And
guarantee you.
People keep giving devs heaps of shit on Twitter and wherever when games get delayed. When it's ironically just so then they don't get more of those messages later when the game's not good.
yeah,
Also, the dev
can't
isn't
win.
at fault there. The publisher is.
They cannot win.
The publisher is the one who controls like the release of games. I don't think people
Yeah.
understand this. Fucking most developers, like 99% of them, unless your name is Hideo Kojima, you do not control when your game comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I mean,
And he is a rare exception.
the thing about video games as a medium themselves is I feel like creators, unless you're in that like 1% of people, and I mean like people like Hideo Kojima or just other well-known game developers, most creators aren't really known for like specific games to most people. Like when you hear a song on the radio, you immediately identify, oh, that's this person. That's, I don't know, Ariana Grande or whoever, for example.
Good choice.
But like, how many people like play a game and they go, oh yeah, this is a blah 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 game.
I usually
it's
only
rare.
find out the developer like way after I played the game.
Yeah,
Like unless
Most
I
people do.
absolutely fucking love the game, I don't know who the developer is.
Quite
yeah.
often,
When I play a game that I think is fantastic, I immediately look up who the hell made it.
Yeah, but like the bar for that again is really high. Like
Yeah.
I know the developers for many games I fucking hate. Like it's
The
it's
reason
just how
why
the-
these companies have publishers is because then they don't have to do the business side of it. They understand the game making stuff that the publishers don't. It's different fields almost.
it's
That's why they
completely-
exist.
As people who have gone through like publishing and game design, it's completely different. It's not even similar remotely.
You don't do the
I'll-
same.
not
You
the
don't do the
same.
same degrees to be a publisher and to be a developer.
I'll say this. When you're a game developer, your job is making the game. When you're a publisher, your job is strictly to make sure that game makes money.
Yeah, and
That's the easiest way I can explain it. Is that like
It's the dumbed down version of it. Yeah,
yeah.
Also, most of the time, publishers don't know how the game is going.
correct.
yeah, pretty much.
They don't, and they don't care. They don't.
Yeah,
give
they
a fuck.
don't give a crap. Yeah,
They literally, a publisher will tell you the game's coming out here, and you deal with that.
Yeah.
They'll pop in once in a while and go, oh, how's it going? Oh, well, this is your
No,
due
they
date.
literally will ask you, "Is it on schedule?" And your job is to say yes.
Well, I mean,
Because
you probably
if
get
it's not on schedule, you're in
in-
trouble.
in some cases you get the same answer whether you say yes or no. You say yes, they're like, oh great, it's still coming out this day. And then when you say no, they're like, well, get it ready. It's coming out on this date.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's
There's just no, and there's no wiggle room. And if you try,
unless a game is straight up unplayable, most publishers won't actually knock it back. And even in some cases when the game is unplayable, they still don't knock it back.
They still don't knock it back.
Like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5, they rushed to get that out because the license was running out. And so it didn't matter that the game didn't work. They just wanted to make sure they got one more shot at the Tony Hawk license.
That game wasn't even on the disc.
Yeah, only the training level was. The
That's
bare
so
minimum.
Horrifying. Like, the publishers don't give a fuck. And when you come out and like you're attacking devs over like delays in that, like those devs, to get a delay is awful. Like the shit that they have to go through to get that to happen is awful.
Especially when it's a game that's been in production so long.
Yeah.
Like when you hear about games that are made by some companies like Rockstar, where they're taking years at a time, and then like being like just a random dev in there, and then to be told, by the way, you're working on this game for another X amount of months. In some cases, like we've seen delays that go more than like a year past the release date, the original release date. We've seen games that go multiple years past the original release date. It takes a toll on people mentally.
Yeah, and then a release date is not decided by the developers. I just want people to understand that. Like, when you see a release date, that's never the decision of the developer. That's what the publisher wants the release date to be. The developer goes, this is the general timeline of how we want it to go. And the publisher goes, well, here's the most marketable date, so you're going to do it till there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when it's... And unless it's, like, literally unfucking playable, which most of the time it will be, it doesn't get delayed and it comes out and it's shit.
Yeah. There are some studios where they have a certain reputation to uphold. So you think of a studio like Rockstar, who Rockstar are essentially in that like very, very small percentage of developers who are so successful they can sort of do what they want at this point.
Yeah.
But every
we
game
give you
Rockstar
free reign
releases,
to keep making us money.
But like Rockstar's next game, we all know it's not going to be like a little pixel art 2D platforming side scroller. You know, they're these big magnum opus.
No, it's going to break the internet.
Yeah, exactly. They have a reputation to uphold. However, another publisher like Activision will turn around and say, hey, we need to get this year's Call of Duty out now. Like, we need to start doing this. And then 6 months after it's released, they're like, all right, we've got to start hyping up the next Call of Duty.
Yeah,
exactly.
basically.
Also, I want to say this, because it's something that I thought of. The reason why game studios most likely show trailers and that for games that they don't plan to release for a few years is probably to get investors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's more to appease investors. Because
like, hey guys,
yeah,
look,
I think it more has to do from the publishing side.
Here it is, and look how excited everyone got.
Yeah,
exactly.
well, when you're talking to an investor, and you know you're a studio like Rockstar where you only release a game once every 7-8 years at this point, like you sort of have to tell them, here's how you're still making a good investment. We released a trailer for this game we're going to release in 5 years, and it fucking broke YouTube or something like that.
Yeah, it came out and it's got like 400 million views. Like, it's some stupid thing like that. But it's like, it's hard as a consumer to like disconnect yourself from like, because as far as you're concerned as a consumer, it's just you product.
Yeah.
Like there's no in between. Like when you're a developer, it's like, oh fuck, like this is my job, this is my passion project. This is like the worst thing I'm ever gonna have to go through in my life.
And it's hard because you donate such a huge like part of your life to making a certain product.
Yeah.
Like when if a chef fucks up cooking a dish, like that goes in the trash and he starts again and he's done. You know what I mean? He doesn't spend 6 months making a perfect dish. Let alone years making like the one dish.
Yeah, you might theorize it. Yeah, but you can. That doesn't count. Like
I know.
The idea, it just sucks when you think about like how developers are treated online. When you realize most of the flack that they're getting are not even remotely under their control. Like what the fuck are they supposed to do? Like the idea of like, oh man, I didn't think of making it good.
Like, not every game has to be a Rockstar like magnum opus or a Naughty Dog magnum opus with like the most intricate attention to details.
Yeah.
You know what game I replayed recently? Guns, Gore, and Cannoli, right? And you know how much I love that game.
That's a good game.
Yeah.
It is a good game. And you know what's funny? The watermelon in the that you find in the game doesn't have its own physics. But I still enjoyed the shit out of that game. And I enjoyed it so much, I went back and I played it again. And I'll probably play it again in the future. If all you want is the most intricate of details, like to be like present in every little piece of the game, your game library will be very small.
I think it's just elitism.
It really is.
Just the idea of like, I'm going to ignore the thousands upon thousands of hours of work lovingly crafted into this like experience and complain about the fact that when I shoot this car window, it doesn't leave a bullet hole exactly where I shot it.
I wouldn't say it's elitism. It's more entitlement.
I mean, like, again, some of these people don't realize how much resources that takes up. When you look at, like, a vending machine in a Grand Theft Auto game, there is someone whose job was to put vending machines all around the map.
And then someone had to model it, and then someone had to texture it. And from my experience with that would have taken about, like, 4 or 5 days of work.
Yeah, and then people wonder why they copy and paste that asset.
Yeah,
Like, of course they're gonna.
Video games are not made with magic.
No, they're not.
No.
As much as we sit around and we're like, oh my god, this game is fantastic. So many people don't think about how much hours go into making a game. Like most consumers won't think of how long that game has taken to get to the spot that it's at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you guys heard of like the one level theory?
No, I haven't. What is it?
It's a game dev thing where it's like, and you would know this, where making your minimum viable product or like the first level is so fast compared to how long it takes to complete the rest of the game. Like it's not even comparable.
Yeah.
What, just making your vertical slice?
If you wanted to make a vertical slice or like the first level of something, it doesn't take that long in retrospect. It probably takes about, like, if you go online, you can watch people make things that look like GTA gameplay in like 4 hours. But if you wanted to make GTA, you would need like $900 million, a full staffed team, and like 10 years of work.
And a hell of a mocap.
So a friend of mine a while back, I can't remember who I was talking to about this, but this was like yesterday or the day before. And I was telling someone that a friend of mine sent me a video, and it was like Jack and Daxter in the Unreal Engine. And they were like, if people can make this, then why can't they just remake the game? And in that video, it's just a model of Jack running around a very nice-looking Unreal environment. And you're like...
I can tell you 16 reasons why that's not...
I can tell you why it's not half as easy as just saying, let's remake a game.
You get people who make, like, fan levels or fan games of, like pretty famous properties. And then you get people going... quote-unquote, hire this man. Like,
Nintendo, hire this man.
Sega, hire this man. Like,
Have you seen this man?
Like, I don't think that's how it works. And I don't think that might be good on, like, a resume, but I think you might need more than that.
It happens rarely, though, where companies do that. They hire fans.
Yeah, they hire fans. That happens all the time.
Yeah, Sonic Mania had that.
Yeah.
The Christian Whitehead games. They were fantastic.
Yeah. But, like... The guys who just drop like an asset into Unreal and then like walk around like an Unreal like stage, that's not a game.
That's not actually stuff happening. Yeah.
Have you noticed like all the Sonic ones, like the Sonic in Unreal, like that aren't fan games that are just Sonic like walking around in Unreal Engine? Have you noticed like there's no like loops or collecting rings or anything that would require any kind of scripting?
Yeah. At
requires stuff to happen. Yeah.
At AIE we call that a project. Like a small,
we call that you have 3 hours to make a game.
Yeah, we call that time to make a game. That was a subject, and
like I personally like find it funny when people send me like those like Unreal videos of like fan made quote unquote games, and you're like, man, I've made like we've all been in game jams where it's taken like 2 days or whatever. And we've made something like super, super basic, and that's taken more effort than making this really nice Unreal environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've done game jams where you stay up for like 48 hours straight, like trying to fucking bash out like half a level of something.
Yeah, I've collaborated with Josh before. We've made our little
Yeah,
handy game.
We've made stuff. We've made stuff in Unreal Engine, and let
So
me tell
that
you,
was
Unreal
Crunch?
Engine makes fucking things look good.
Yeah, it's a fantastic engine.
Like,
It's
if you want
really
something
good.
to look good with like really low effort, Unreal is great. But dropping in the Mario model you found online and the remake, it's someone who actually remade like the outside of Peach's castle, and then
Yeah.
saying Nintendo hire this man. Like, it doesn't take that long to do that stuff.
Yeah,
Like, I
and,
don't think people
normally, right, if it's specifically a Nintendo game, yeah,
You're
like-
about to get clapped, my boy.
someone's
Yeah.
fine. They're getting out the banhammer for you, mate. The
Yeah.
cease and desist will be there shortly.
Yeah, fucking, you're just gonna get, like, the Nintendo ninjas coming up to slice your throat.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something about like that cease and desist stuff that I found out. It's like everyone gets like cranky. They're like, "Oh, why can't they just like let this go because it's so high quality?" The reason why is if you don't defend your copyright, you lose it. So if you like say like we make like a Mario game, and Nintendo's like, "No, we're not gonna defend our copyright here. We're gonna allow that to like go to like a game award and that and be recognized in the public." That just means that the next time someone makes a Mario game that they want to like take down, they can't. Because there'll be precedent of them letting it go before. So yeah, I understand that it's annoying, but fuck me, like that you don't want them to lose their copyright over it, otherwise they're not gonna make those games anymore.
Yeah. Worse still, go into the public domain.
Yeah, you don't want public domain Mario just yet, alright?
Also, what Jack said in the beginning of this video is that, you know, this whole thing was about me getting mad at a tweet. Now,
Yes.
I wasn't exactly mad. I was mad when I was talking to you guys because I thought I better handle this, like, response to this guy professionally.
Responsibly.
Yeah, so I said in response to the, you know, the whole Back for Blood thing was attention to details in games are nice. And we should praise games that go out of their way. But it's not a thing that should be consistently desired, and the fact that it is a problem.
No, the truth is, especially, it's talking about, like, Halo Infinite, man. Like, to be honest, what's going to make that game? It's going to be the shooting, it's going to be the multiplayer, does the game look good? It's not going to be, oh, hey, look at those fruit physics in that one level that I can shoot, and they all move and have their own physics. That's not making the game. Like, it might
No,
be
it's
cool,
really not.
but it's not. That's not deciding whether or not people are buying it.
Yeah, like
And let me tell you, a lot of the time that shit happens because like some programmers have a few hours to kill.
yeah, well, and like,
Or,
you
like-
know, Metal Gear Solid, where, you know, you had the whole like ice melting in real time thing. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna care. It's nice to like have that.
Oh yeah,
but
it's really cool. That's the most Hideo Kojima thing ever. But
but I'm not gonna go out of my way and like look for that and just sit there and watch ice melt. No, I want to actually play the game. Let games be games.
Yeah,
Well,
but
not
there are times it's like the immersion it adds to it, but there's Back for Blood is like this zombie killing game. Now I don't know about you guys, but zombies are currently fake. Currently
are they?
can't don't exist. Can't
Currently
maybe
in the
is-
present, right now, we can't be sure.
Right now we have coronavirus. As far as I can tell, it's not a zombie virus, so we're alright for now. But you know, I don't think whether or not all the glass panels on your car break realistically is going to make or break that game. It's going to be how fun it is to kill zombies with your friends.
Zero attention to detail.
Yeah, we just want to see how the zombies explode, and pretty much that's where all the details gonna go.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna focus on that. Also, like,
So I'm
games
pretty
of
sure
yesterday
Back for Blood
do not
and
have the quality
Infinite's
of games of today. I don't think I
budgets are
have to
different.
say this, but last year and the year before that is not this year, and the technology improves with time and not
Massively.
retroactively.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
also like you know remember like a couple of months ago. Like remember the whole Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart thing with the grass.
Yeah.
The vegetation does not react to my body. 0 out of 10.
So what you're telling me is Insomniac just keep having these problems because they had the Spider-Man puddle drama.
Yeah, like
Oh my god.
like are they seriously going to go towards every like flora in in that whole planet, and put collision meshes on every single planet. I don't think that's gonna.
I love people worried about that, but then like, hang on, can we just? The detail when you see Ratchet in the first cutscene is amazing.
Oh, 100%. Like,
The fact
that
you
was
can
like
see like all the little hairs on his face.
I love the fact that
Yeah,
so I played the game in
man.
performance ray tracing mode, and I love that if you like look at Ratchet's eyes or like any character's eyes, you can see the like ray trace reflections on those eyes, and I can imagine like Insomniac devs would have been like so happy to see that. And, like look how beautiful our game is. And then they open Twitter and someone's like, 0 out of 10, the grass doesn't react.
Oh, man.
I couldn't imagine being a dev of that and seeing that. It would be so heartbreaking.
The
Like,
thing is-
I would hop off Twitter for the rest of the day if I
But the
saw
thing
that.
is, like the internet, we all know it's like a digital Wild West. But there's also the whole thing where you don't know if they're like actually being serious about it.
yeah, exactly. It's like, is
Yeah,
this satire?
trolls.
Like, are they like trying to bait us into getting mad at them, and that's exactly what they want, or are they legitimately, are they like seriously this petty about one little thing?
You
That's why
can't
they
tell
often don't
either way.
respond. Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Don't feed the trolls. Is all I'm saying. But
Yeah.
man,
Now-
I don't know.
Now, to close this topic, I will say there is one time where I'm always appreciative of very small details in a game. And that is when I follow a Twitter account called Can You Pet the Dog, which documents what games you can pet dogs in.
I love that Twitter account.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the
That's
best.
almost as good as my boy Saved You a Click Video Games. Go check
Oh,
out his
yeah.
likes.
Yeah, he's good.
There was also is there a rabbit in this game? I followed that.
There's a few of them, yeah.
Yeah. Great times.
Yeah.
So,
think that's all
did
we've
you guys
got
know
for-
that? Yeah,
What?
did you guys know that the human DNA has the information capacity to fit a GameCube game in it?
Really?
Yeah.
Can you say that again? My brain hurt.
The human DNA has the information capacity about equal to a GameCube game.
So GameCube's better than humans?
So theoretically, through gene editing technology, we could store a copy of Super Smash Bros. Melee into the human genome.
I'm just waiting for the day where someone
That's
goes...
that's the only way it's not
someone
going to get
goes-
copyrighted, right?
Look,
Yeah.
just inject the Super Mario Sunshine into my veins.
Yeah, just put it into my blood, my man.
You freaking gain the powers to wave dash as soon as you get melee into your system.
Ma-
Street Fighter in there.
Mario Kart 8 is still selling well inside my body.
Dude, I got double dash on lockdown. Just plug the controller into me.
When you love a game so much, you say it's a part of you.
Hey, that means you know how the body is like mostly water, right? That means my body's mostly Wind Waker.
So how many ports do you guys have?
Oh no.
Just two.
Do we have
I
enough
know
time
if
for
you-
this one?
I think I know some people who might have some more.
Alright.
We'll start
Jack, you
growing
wanna-
like that. I think that's the end of it.
I was going to say, you want to take us out?
No, let me keep going. I wonder how
No,
far down this hole I
no.
can get.
No hole.
Oh, now I see what you did there.
Well,
Well,
don't
this
worry,
has
we
been-
can always edit Josh out in post.
Why are they reacting to nothing?
Jack? Alright, Jack, take us out.
Well, this has been the Safe Harbor Podcast. I've been Jack.
Sharps.
And
Josh?
Thank you. That was
about to
that
say
was
that.
well
Yeah,
done.
We are just fucking spectacular.
We're
Yeah.
great at this podcasting thing. You think we would have learned by now, but apparently not.
I felt like Charbel came in like half a second late there. It's just like, oh shit, are we not getting exited?
No, I thought Jack was going to, like,
Yeah, I thought Jack was gonna
de-introduce
like.
us.
Yeah, exactly.
we're
Gonna shout
delaying
us
like
out.
one little thing
No,
right now,
no,
and
it
that's
was
like
you.
Alright.
This is your fault.
This is your fault. Alright.
We have great synergy.
We're great. Signing
Alright.
off.
Signing off.
signing off.